Welcome to JSATV, where we're covering the latest news, innovations, and lots of things that we're covering today on the show floor today. I am Dean Perrine. We are coming at you live. That's right, Brian. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And this good-looking guy to my right is Mr. Brian Lillie. Brian is the president and chief operating officer for ZutaCore. Brian, welcome to JSATV.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. You know, it's exciting to see technology come together in such a beautiful, beautiful place.
You know, you're a beautiful, beautiful guy. I like that very much. But hey, look, speaking of the people, I don't know that you're necessarily new to the industry, but you're relatively new to ZutaCore. Why don't you tell us where you came from and why ultimately you landed at ZutaCore?
Yeah, So I've been at ZutaCore just under 4 months. Right.
Just a baby.
But I had 10 years at Equinix, building,
We've heard of
operating.
them.
Data centers. You've heard of them. Zayo, fiber.
Them too.
And then Rackspace. So
and
running private cloud.
Them as well.
So that's my background. But why I joined ZutaCore is because of the work that they're doing there. And I brought this to show you. This is a cold plate. Now, you know, everybody said that air was going to be the answer to cool these things, but I don't know if you've seen the radiators on these chips got taller and taller. Half of the rack was radiators.
Yeah.
So these sit on top of the cold plate, and they basically take heat away because these things are getting hotter and hotter. And this particular one, this is our newest. It's called OmniTherm because you can not only put it on top, you can put it underneath for like where the voltage regulators are, where there's a lot of heat.
Okay.
And even on PCI cards, you can put it on its side. And so this is the first in its industry. That you're probably the first one that anybody has seen here.
It's the first one I've ever seen. That's for certain.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. And we're a little bit different because right now, most of the cooling, liquid cooling direct to chip is single phase, which means it doesn't change phases. It stays as liquid.
Uh-huh.
In our case, we don't use water. We use a dielectric, which is like an oil almost that is non-conductive. So if it does leak, it doesn't hurt your equipment. Now it comes in this little hole as liquid, and as it goes and boils, it turns to vapor. Okay. So that's the two phase. It goes out as vapor, and that's how we are different.
This is the one thing that no one has ever explained to me before. But my next question, quite literally, Brian, was like, not all liquid cooling solutions are the same.
Right.
Yours happens to be two phase, and that's how it works.
That's how it works. And the beauty is just like your pot of water at home on your stove.
Yeah.
If you turn up the heat, the water will boil faster, but it's going to stay at 100 degrees and it'll turn to vapor. Mm-hmm. Now, if you just add enough fluid, it will never stop boiling. You can do that forever. And the power here is with single phase. Single phase is blowing the water across. Well, as the heat flux, the temperatures go up, all of a sudden you have to blow more water faster at colder temperatures. Your efficiency goes down, your cost goes up. This just sits there in a reservoir and boils away. So even as these chips get to 2,000 watts for one chip, it doesn't matter because we just boil it away. And you manage the fluid, closed loop. It was invented in Israel. It's a brilliant solution. And so my role is to actually tell that story to the world.
Well, you're doing an amazing job because to be very frank with you, that is the first time anyone has ever explained it to me in a way that I was just like, oh yeah,
makes
a lot of sense. But let's talk about not only does that make sense, but in many of the applications, it's going to make even more sense because we know that. We know that there's a lot of building going on in the industry, but we also know that there are a lot of data centers in use today that need to be retrofitted or outfitted with the technologies of tomorrow so that they can stay relevant.
That's right.
You also have a play there. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So to me, one of the things I'm really, when you think about why I joined, I really believe in the sustainability view around this technology very much. very low use of water. I live in Colorado. I live in Boulder, Colorado, and there's been data center projects canceled because of a lack of water.
Yep.
Not power, but water.
Yeah.
So this is waterless, and why it can be used to upgrade existing facilities. So we have companies coming to us and saying, look, I have this data center, but I'm out of space and power. Can you help me become AI ready?
Yeah.
Without doing a rebuild.
You don't leave
right?
the hot seat without talking about AI.
Exactly. But we call this a hypercool upgrade because hypercool is the name of our product. And it's a hypercool upgrade to take an existing data center and actually make it relevant by upgrading to this technology. So you can move to two-phase and all of a sudden they get 20% more efficient.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're in the game at 120 kVA per rack up to 180 kVA. So we can scale their existing infrastructure. And we have companies in the high frequency trading, in the banking industry.
So those verticals were exactly what I was thinking. I'm thinking like fintech, healthcare, those folks that are accessing the data centers, at the as close to the edge as humanly possible, but that ultimately need to become AI ready, as you said, and more relevant, so that those data centers have more legs for many years to come. This sounds like a plug and play solution to that.
It really is, and believe it or not, rendering is a really important application in media and entertainment. So they need high performance compute.
Hadn't thought of that.
We can do that. Yeah, and then the other one that's really interesting is telco. So because we have a waterless solution, you don't need a chilled water loop. Yeah. Well, a lot of these towers don't have water. A lot of these ILAs where they regenerate the optical signal, they don't have it, but they want to put a 50 kVA or 100 kVA rack. How do they
at the tower?
At the base of the tower,
no kidding,
or in the ILA hut.
And
so they said our biggest problem is we don't have water.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, we can actually cool 120 kVA without a water loop. Yeah. And they're like, so we're working with SoftBank to do that with a company called Munters in Sweden.
Oh no, we know Munters.
You know Munters. So Munters is partnering. They're partnering with us to build a waterless edge AI play for inference. So it's super exciting. This is
cool stuff. This is cool stuff. The other thing too, and I know we've already gone off script, but that doesn't matter because this is fun. So like if I'm a data center operator, builder, and I'm going to go into because we know that they're being built closer and closer to that kind of residential edge.
Yes.
And they've got a ton of community pushback, either warranted or not warranted. Right. There's a lot of misconceptions there. But if I come in armed with this kind of solution around that resource, it's an easier sell to the community.
It really is. We've actually been in those conversations.
I believe it.
Where we say, you're going to use all of our water. We say, actually, we have a waterless solution. You're going to use all of our energy. We say, we just launched a line of end of row CDUs, 1.2 megawatt. Our single phase takes about 70 kilowatts to run. We take 7. A tenth.
Again.
So if we can have those conversations and say, look, I have children and they have children. We care about this. We're actually on your side, but you need the capability that this is bringing. Mm-hmm. AI, like it or not, is here and it's coming. Yeah. And if we could build that with the community as opposed to against the community, to me, that's win-win.
Well, and JSA does a lot of that, community engagement, community relations, that kind of thing. And so very often I personally have consulted to say, hey, look, what the data center that you're actually going to be discussing with the town board or with the mayor with regard to rezoning and stuff like that, you better come with solutions that are going to be easy to understand and an easy take to the community, because their constituents are the voting public.
That's right.
And they're going to say yay or nay to that vote based on things like this in the future, which is a very, very cool thing.
You said it perfectly well.
Oh, well, awesome. I've been around a little bit too. But hey, look, it is such a pleasure. Thank you for being with us, Brian. Our time is up, but thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSATV. We'll see you very soon.